Grasping the gist. Gist is defined as the most important pieces of information about something or general information without details. In the context of language learning and teaching, gist is defined as the general meaning or purpose of a text, either written or spoken. Listening for grasping gist involves general thematic understanding without any focus on specific details or discrete information. It is one among many types of listening and aims to answer primary questions related to an oral text central theme, topic, and purpose. Gist-level listening can occur with any type of oral text like conversation, lectures, news reports, or even songs. So here are the cognitive processes that contributes to listening for gist. First, the ability to recognize primary sentence stress. Recognizing sentence stress or words that has pronounced strongly than others can help to identify the keywords that could lead on getting the general details of the spoken passage. Second, the ability to distinguish between lexical and grammatical words. Distinguishing lexical and grammatical words helps to understand the words more clear as well as understanding the meaning of the word in the passage to grasp what is being talked about. Next, the ability to identify key lexical items and major constituents. This ability can help the listeners to identify the function of the words in the passage being spoken. Another is the ability to recognize discourse markers and sentence connectors. This can help to identify the connection between words and things that are being spoken about. It also helps to understand the structure of that discourse. Another is the ability to understand relationships between units within the text. With this ability, listeners will be able to determine the linkages between units within the spoken text in order to identify the general details. And last, the ability to infer relationship. Being able to determine the relationship whether between the speakers or the information given by the speakers can help the listeners to understand the topic and the theme, which can lead to grasping the gist. Remember, in order to determine the gist of a passage or conversation, listeners must extract and accumulate meaning from several idea units and subsequently establish relationship between them. Listeners may not remember the content of each idea unit, but once they have constructed its overall meaning, the actual words are replaced by a summary of the text. To get the gist, the listeners is required to first to process the text at the level of idea units and then to combine those summaries to construct the overall gist. It is important to note that even if listeners have engaged in all of these cognitive processes, they may not unpack the full or exact meaning of the message. However, engaging in some of these cognitive processes will likely make the gist of the text apparent. So here are the types of exercises that can be done in order to grasp the gist effectively. First, we have response. It is the most common type of classroom practice that targets gist-level listening and is probably familiar to many practitioners. Response activities can often be found in language textbook or in the form of multiple choice question that asks about the main idea or purpose of the passage. Teachers can easily generate similar response exercises to match at any listening passage exercise. Second, we have demonstration. Focuses on teacher-led explanation of how to take advantage of linguistic signals to help identify main ideas. It consists of teacher-led demonstration which aims at improving linguistic knowledge and at showing learners how to access key information that people use when they attempt to get the gist. And lastly, we have production. It requires learners to produce some language in order to show understanding of the gist. Production activities related to gist are the most challenging because rather than presenting learners with a controlled set of choice as a response or having a teacher illustrate techniques for listening for gist as demonstration, this category requires learners first to understand gist and subsequently to show their understanding through language production.